Fox Sports.
We are the Force. We are MC.
Royals baseball comes to you from New York to begin a long road trip. 11 days, 10 games, beginning with 4 against the New York Yankees. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals had a winning homestand. It ended by allowing 8 runs yesterday to the Tigers. But prior to that, the Royals had a nice long run of good pitching, in particular starting pitching, which included Jacob Junis coming off the disabled list.
Yes, and one of the reasons they had a winning homestand. Outstanding pitching will do the job every time. But for Junis, this could really help him out in the confidence department after tonight. Let's hopefully he can do what he did against the Twins. Now, he was on a pitch count then, so that's the only reason he went 4 innings. But his slider was sharp. He was pitching under the bats. And in order to beat the Bronx Bombers, he'll have to stay under their bats as well. They are mighty powerful.
And we'll talk about that offense when we come back. The Bronx Bombers has been more than just a nickname for the Yankees this year. Power stats, and HUD, when I say power stats, I mean power stats.
Ooh, man, this is a lethal lineup. If you make a mistake, they know exactly what to do with it. All parts of the ballpark either. There are no wall-scraping home runs by this team. They know how to hit them, but look, if you can execute your pitches, this is what you'll have to do to beat them this weekend.
So a tall task for Jacob Junis going up against Sonny Gray, whose ERA at home this year is over 7.5. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. Ticket played gets back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. We are inside Yankee Stadium. It is 85 degrees and muggy as the Royals begin a 4-game series here after a 4-2 homestand against Minnesota and Detroit. The Yankees just got home from a brief 3-game road trip, and they're happy to be home. They have played 14 of their last 16 games on the road. Here's the Royals batting order against right-hander Sonny Gray. Brian Goodwin is back in there. He'll be in center field and batting 8th. And Adalberto Mondesi will be making his second start since the All-Star break, and his first back at shortstop. So Alcides Escobar and Hunter Dozier will begin the game on the bench. Sonny Gray, this was a great trade, I thought, on the surface, HUD, when they traded for Sonny Gray from the A's. It has not worked out for him with the Yankees, and especially here.
Yeah, and you know what? You see the 42 walks. That's a high number. Tells me that he's a little bit leery of getting in the strike zone and pitching to contact, especially in this ballpark where he's had some problems. But my Royals' keys to get him early. The first hitter in each at bat and each inning, 431 opponent's batting average when leading off innings. And get him in the first 2 innings, you have a chance. He's given up 30 of his 58 earned runs in the first 2 innings. So get him early. Defensively, the New York Yankees, they've had a pretty good year this year in saving runs. Their defensive run save metrics plus 16. That's 10th best. They're doing a good job over there. And behind the plate, Austin Romine. He's having a career year offensively, and he's thrown out 26% of base stealers, and he's really doing well behind the plate. With Sanchez out, they're counting on his production.
Laz Diaz is the crew chief. He'll be at first base. Andy Fletcher is behind the plate with Manny Gonzalez and Chad Whitson. Whit Merrifield had a tough homestand. He batted just 200, but he had 2 hits yesterday, including an RBI triple. That was his last at bat of the homestand, and now the first pitch of the road trip is down and away for ball 1. Hitting right at 300, and in his career against the Yankees, a .324 batting average. Down and away, 2-0.
Yeah, now sometimes he elects, Whitley does, to swing at the first pitch because he believes that he's going to get a first pitch fastball, but he's gotten 2 now, and they've been out of the zone. Patient.
Two and 1. Royals saw the Yankees back at Kauffman Stadium in May. The Yankees took 2 out of 3. But the Yankees have won the last 7 series with the Royals. Back to the middle, and that's a second baseman, Torres. Low, but dug out by Bird. 1 away. Here's first-year manager Aaron Boone, and back in Kansas City. The Royals won the first game of the series 5-2, but then the Yankees outscored the Royals 18-4. In game 1, the Yankees had 8 singles, and then in the next 2 games had 9 home runs and 15 extra base hits.
It's like hot and cold. Turn on the hot water. Man, yeah, they're going to be tough.
And by the way, that game where the Yankees only had 8 singles, that was the game that Jacob Junis pitched, and he'll be getting the start tonight.
Yep. We had a little sample of the Bombers.
Grounded foul off the bat of Herrera. He had 5 hits in the Royals Tigers series. Ned Yost has him in right field tonight. It's not as much ground to cover here than at Kauffman Stadium in right field, to say the least.
No, and you know what? That's kind of a break. And when you get familiar with the outfield territory as a BP, batting practice.
Out in front of the plate, and Romine throws him out. 2 down.
See how the in front of home plate, it's all watered down pretty much. Most ballparks have it watered, so the ball, usually sinker ball pitchers, groundskeeper takes care of them so the ball doesn't bounce real high.
So 2 down to Mike Moustakas. He will get 4 shots, has in 4 games at that porch in right field during this series. Breaking balls in for a strike. Here's our Toyota League leaders. He has pulled to right field 18 of his 20 home runs. That's the 3rd most in the major leagues. And he pulls it to right center field, but not very deep. And Stanton makes the play, and the Royals are down in order against Sonny Gray. Jacob Junis makes his 2nd start against the Yankees this year and his 2nd career start here at Yankee Stadium. About their power, Yankees lead the league in home runs. They lead the league in walks. And with all those big powerful swings, they also pile up the strikeouts. They have struck out over 900 times already this year. And they'll get Jacob Junis, who's coming off a good start, 4 innings coming off the disabled list. And Hud, I'm going to go way out on a limb here and assume that your key has something to do with keeping the ball in the ballpark.
You are correct, sir. Sliders under the Bombers' bats, that's for sure. Junis, he's allowed a lot of home runs this year. And the Yankees, they hit the most. So if he can just work on with that slider's been a really nice pitch for him when it's working. It worked in his last outing against the Twins. That downward action keeps it under the bats.
One strike on Brett Gardner. There's a slider making it 0-2. Junis started here last season in late September, so it's not the first time he has been on this mound and played in this ballpark. Although with his demeanor, he doesn't strike me as a type of guy that's going to be overwhelmed by any situation.
Now, that's one of his strengths.
Down by his feet. And it's the third base umpire, Chad Whitson, who calls it a foul ball. The home plate umpire, Andy Fletcher, didn't see it. Gardner left the batter's box, and all the umpires started looking at one another, and finally it was Whitson who said it was a foul ball.
A little banter going on between Salvi and Gardner.
Two balls, two strikes.
Now, last outing against the Twins were 0 for 4 on that slider, so it was really working nicely. It has some great downward break to it. He tried there to get Gardner, but he was a little short with it. Let's see what he comes back with here.
Chopper out to Witt, and there's one down.
Ford around the horn. Royals defense in today's game. Brian Goodwin making his second start out in center field. He's excited. Told me before the game he wants to really make a catch and do something well for his pitcher tonight. And we talked about Duda. We shared with him in the pregame show today. He's only made 2 errors this year. He has a career .995 fielding percentage. Lucas Duda cares a lot about his infielders. He says he want to make the play for those guys when they short hop me. Very impressive.
Aaron Judge with one out, and there's the judge's chamber out in right field.
All rise.
He has 26 home runs, 61 RBIs, but when he was in Kansas City back in May, he was 0 for 13 in that series. One ball, one strike. Just about every hitter prefers to be at home than on the road, but Aaron Judge is working on an historic split between home and road. His OPS is over 1,200 here at Yankee Stadium, and if the season ended today, the difference between his home and road OPS would be the largest gap in history.
Hard to explain that too. Now he knows that when he was in Kansas City, I talked to him in like game 2 of the series, and he said that the Royals pitchers were executing their pitches against him. He wasn't having any success. But he's really patient too. You know, he's got 68 walks, but he swings and misses a lot. So let's see. That high fastball won't set up a slider here. And good pitching will outdo good hitting. You just got to hit your spots.
Did that hit him or the bat? It sure sounded like the bat.
This will be the fourth time he's been hit this year. And Salvi was setting up low and away. Look where he's sitting down in the way. This ball just got away from him. They got him on the wrist.
Boy, it sounded like the bat. I mean, clearly it was not the bat, but that was solid. That was not a glancing blow at all.
Oh, this super slow motion replay here. Ooh, man, that's a tough place to get hit. This is Steve Donahue, the head athletic trainer. This is his 40th consecutive year with the New York Yankees. Judge, they're not sure. You know what? And he's going to stay in. I thought for a minute they might take him out. Get a picture of him.
Well, he is the designated hitter tonight, so he doesn't have to take the field in the next half inning. So they can spend a little extra time making sure that hand or that wrist is all right. 1 on 1 out to Didi Gregorius. 0-1. He was on fire to begin a very cold season as far as the weather goes. He was the April American League Player of the Month. 327, 10 home runs, 30 driven in. But then in May, 149, 1 and 5, and then he's steadied himself since June 1st.
Wow.
Base hit to right field. Judge will make the turn and go first to third, and Gregorius hustles into second base with a double.
It's his 20th double, and got a pitch up. Pounded it. Right there, right in the middle of the plate. 91. Had a little bit of movement on it, but he stayed with it. He was ready for it. Judge, tremendous athlete. As big as he is, he can run.
So second and third with one out to Giancarlo Stanton. Line to right field, and Herrera made the play. That ball was diving down on him, so it looked like a somewhat routine play at first, and then it became a difficult play, and Stanton drives in Judge, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
Rosell, nice job staying with it. Tough misread. When a big guy like that swings the bat, he can hit a home run in a heartbeat. It had topspin on it, and by the time he picked it up, it turned him around like a pretzel, but he's able to make the play. That's huge. Look at him watch the ball all the way in. Nice adjustment there on a tough read. Coming off of a guy's bat that's a notorious home run hitter.
And that'll bring up Aaron Hicks with a runner at third and 2 down. "16 home runs for Hicks. That's already a career high for him. Slider is high, 2 balls and no strikes. He went around. 2-1. The double by Gregorius is the first extra base hit for the Yankees against Junis this year. In his 5 1/3 against the Yankees at Kauffman Stadium back in May, he gave up all singles. Two balls, 2 strikes. Arcia drive to success May the 18th. 7 hits, all singles. 3 were infield singles. And he was charged with 2 runs, but both of those runs scored after he was out of the game. A very solid start for Junis in his first turn against the Yankees this year.
It was. Everything was working for him. Had them all working.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Gleyber Torres is on deck. And outside for a walk. And the Yankees do a lot of that.
Yeah, you can tell by the way Junis hopped. He was hoping that would have caught the outside part of the plate. A little bit leery of Hicks, and he should be. Hicks is having a solid year this year. picking his opportunities here with going to face a second baseman.
And now Gleyber Torres, who is recently back from the disabled list. He had a right hip issue, and he comes up with runners at first and third and 2 down. Got the call. 0-1. An area that needs improvement for the Royals in the second half. Pitching with runners in scoring position. Opponents are hitting over 300 against the Royals this year. No balls, 2 strikes. Salvi keeps it close to home plate. No advance for Hicks at first base.
Yeah, you know, Salvi pushed his chest towards Junis. See how he's coming towards him. Excellent job of squaring the ball out there. Little mark on his chest protector that ball made.
Out over the plate and bobbled by Mondesi, and no play, and another run will score. It is a fielder's choice, an error on Mondesi, and no RBI for Torres.
That's unfortunate for Junis. Breaking ball, he got what he wanted. Nice little easy out there. Looked like he just totally misplayed it. Couldn't get around it, couldn't get his feet where he wanted to.
I was thinking the same thing. You know, you think about an error, just not having your hands in the right place, but his feet, his positioning there, he kind of played that into an in-between hop.
Yeah, you know, in the pregame show, when we talked with Lucas Duda, he talked about catching the ball with his feet and how important his footwork was. And same with the shortstop, any kind of infielder. Pick it.
And right on cue, Duda makes a nice play to save another run. So the Yankees get 2 runs on 1 hit and have the early lead. Five of the 6 games of the homestand. Now it's the Yankees Out in front with 2 in the first. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the hold true moment later in tonight's game. Sonny Gray had a 1-2-3 first inning, so it's Perez, Duda, and Bonifacio in the second inning. Salvi takes a fastball for a strike. He had a nice homestand. Well, HUD, don't tell the Royals that Sonny Gray has been struggling this year, because this is what he did back on May the 20th at Kauffman Stadium. 1 run in 8 innings. And that included retiring the first 14 batters of the game.
I remember. He was nails. Definitely one of his best start.
The question always is, you know, whether it's overblown or not, how does one handle the bright lights of New York and Yankee Stadium? Well, for Sonny Gray, that ERA in his first 14 home starts is the highest in Yankees history. Salvi golfs one to center field. Hicks is out there waiting for it, and there's one down.
Yeah, it's tough to get on the fans' good side when you're putting up numbers like that, and they just wanted him in the worst way a year ago. I remember they were talking about him. He's going to make a big difference in the rotation, and he's done a nice job. But outside of that 8-inning start or stint against the Royals, he did 8 innings one other time, and that was a month later on June 6th against the Blue Jays. He went 8 innings, but after that, he's basically a 5-inning pitcher.
Yeah, averaging just 5 innings per start. So he requires a lot of that. Excellent. The Yankees bullpen. Duda takes high ball 1. You had a nice long chat with him during Price Chopper Royals Live.
It was so fresh. You know, it's one thing for us to get to know the players, but for them to get comfortable enough to do it on camera and in front of the fans, that's another thing. And Lucas, we've warmed up together, and I asked him, hey, could you share with our audience about your hitting and your fielding? And he was more than cordial. He's very soft-spoken, but what impressed me the most is how unselfish he is. He talked about his defense and how when the left side of the infield, Moose or Escobar, Mondesi, or Merrifield throw him a ball and it's a short hop, he says, I get to the base and I want to pick it in the worst way because I want to help those guys. You know, it really was impressive to hear how he cares about his teammates. He's thinking of them, not himself. And then his batting is difficult, he says. Timing. He talked a lot about the timing with that flamingo kick. He brings his foot up, his leg up almost waist high, and he talked about you got to be on time. And then I asked him to explain what that means. On time means he starts his leg kick when the pitcher gets in his windup right here. Watch when the ball's on the way. He starts bringing it up, and then he brings it down. And Price has set it down on time. Okay, he's going to start when the ball's on the way, and then when his foot comes down, the ball usually crosses the plate. And that's the difficulty of using that type of hip load, the flamingo kick, they call that. You know, playing ball in Japan, most of the Japanese hitters all use that, and it was a higher leg kick. And where they had trouble was with the big slow curves. When it fooled them, now their foot came down and their timing was off, and they would swing and miss. So it's a really difficult way to get ready.
Bonifacio takes a strike, and as you're talking, it reminds me when the Royals gained a reputation of being a running team. Remember, everybody started slide stepping on the Royals. Billy Butler had some trouble managing when to get that foot back down, because all of a sudden everyone was quick to the plate.
You're right. Bonifacio, he's a toe tapper. He just missed that one.
6 up, 6 down for the Royals against Sonny Gray.
the Royals 2-0. Joel Goldberg down towards the third base side and the Royals dugout. The Yankees broadcast started tonight with one of their keys to the game being return of the home runs, question mark. Seems kind of strange that the Yankees have not had home runs considering they lead the majors in that category. Think about this, guys. They have 85 home runs at home this year. The Royals have 83 total. However, the Yankees have just one home run since the All-Star break. The Royals have actually hit 5 of them. So if you can keep them in the yard, you have a chance. Not easy to do. Only 8 times this year they have gone without a long ball at Yankee Stadium. David Cohn, the former Royal and now Yankees analyst, summed it up best. They live and die with the home run.
Which is nice when you're hitting home runs, but oftentimes, Hud, when you get into the playoffs, you're facing an ace every night, and you're facing great bullpens every night, and you're not hitting home runs. A lot of teams don't have a plan B.
We've seen it over the last few postseasons in the World Series.
And that sums up the hot and the cold for Jacob Junis this year when it comes to home runs. He has really been stung, having allowed 24 home runs this year. That's the most in the major leagues, and that was your key. You keep that slider underneath the bats. Salvi down to Duda to complete the strikeout, and that's Junis first.
I mean, the Dodgers, remember they had a runner at third base. They couldn't get the run home. They're like 3 or 4 hitters, big situations. And one of the reasons why the Royals were so successful in 14 and 15, and just because they lost the World Series in 14 doesn't mean they weren't successful. They were unbelievable without the long ball. I think they had under 100 homers.
In 14, 95 home runs in 2014.
There you go. And pressuring defenses, team speed, that's what the Royals are all about. And I believe they're continuing to build that way with their young players on the farm. They might have a couple of, Matias, the kid, he's got power. You got to have 1 or 2 power guys, but speed and athleticism is what's going to play for us. Solid pitching, bullpen, we all know the formula. Certainly Dayton Moore does, and he remembers it. Nicky Lopez, Khalil Lee. Go.
And Herrera
Rosie
into the corner for out number 2.
Didn't look like he got a good jump on it, whether he saw it or not.
Well, yeah, look at the 2 playoff years like you were talking about. The Angels hit a ton of home runs. Not in that playoff series. The Orioles, a ton of home runs. Not in that series. Who ended up beating the Royals? A team with pitching and defense and bullpen in the World Series. The next year, the Astros hit home runs. Their offense wasn't really balanced yet. The 2015 Astros. The Blue Jays hit a ton of home runs. Not in the playoffs. And in the end, in 15, it was 2 teams that relied more on pitching and defense than they did home runs, the Royals and the Mets.
Yeah, New York.
Gardner grounded out to second in the first inning.
5.5 out coming into tonight. It's going to be an interesting finish, that's for sure, but they could end up being a wild card. 1 and done.
One and 2 on Gardner. And here's Hud's point. 28 games above 500 and more than 5 games out. The last time a team was in a position like this at this part of the year was 1906. Wow. That's how rare it is. The New York Giants were 28 games above 500 and 5 games out at this point of the season. Nice bounce back for Junis. He has a 1-2-3 bottom of the second.
Gold Glover, Alex Gordon, in his reserved fan section. Gordo Nation. Tickets are just $35. Include your seat in left field, a Gordo Big Head, exclusive premium Gordo Nation t-shirt. Don't miss a chance to cheer on Gordo every Thursday home game. Get your tickets now at royals.com/theme tickets.
A lot of Royals fans are here. A lot of members of the Royals front office and sponsors will be here over the weekend. Monty came in with his wife Tina a day before the Royals came to New York, and he said the plane was full of Royals fans coming to New York to watch the Royals and the Yankees.
Yep, direct flight. Good for us. We'll take them all, including Monty and Tina.
Sonny Gray has set down the first 6 Royals with very few pitches. We were telling you last inning that he's only averaged 5 innings per start. And he's only reached 100 pitches in just 2 of 19 starts this year. 2-1.
It's important. Leadoff hitters of an inning get things going. 376 opponent average. That's what we talked about as a key for the Royals. And Sonny Gray's been a little bit off on first batters in the inning. See if Alex can get on.
Pounded that fastball down by his feet, and Alex looks a little frustrated that he didn't do more with that pitch. Still 2-2.
Sonny Gray likes to sink it, little 4-seam run, a couple variations off of his fastball. But the curveball has been the most successful pitch for him. It's a big one. That's one Alex just missed. 207 opponent average.
And there was a time when some would say Sonny Gray had the best curveball in the game. Still good. I don't think it's as good as it once was.
Tighten up that rotation a little bit.
Hard breaking ball there, and Gray strikes out his first.
Speaking of it, there it is. It's a big roundhouser. 12-6. You see how at 12 o'clock straight up on the clock down to 6. Out of the zone. Perfect placement.
Brian Goodwin with 1 out. He's made a nice early impression in his first 2 games of the Royals. He is 3 out of 5 with an RBI. That's 1 game coming off the bench and 1 start. Back to the middle and has another hit. Goodwin is on with 1 out.
Goodwin looking for something out over the plate, and what impresses me so far in just his very short few hits that I've seen, just really handsy type hitter. Doesn't use a lot of his body, which is really good for a guy who can get on base, provide some speed, and he does have some pop, by the way. He can hit home runs. He had 13 last season when he had more of a regular role, but I like how he takes his hands right to the ball.
And now Mondesi with 1 on 1 out. Fastball is outside. Mondesi has hit in 5 straight. That ties a career high from a couple of seasons ago. One and one. He was 2 out of 4 yesterday with a run scored in his first game back after being reinstated from the family medical emergency list.
Tell you what, he's a game changer. He's got power from both sides of the plate. He can turn it in 1 swing. tie it up here. Gray's a good athlete. Timing his pitch from when he comes set and breaks and goes home. 1-3-5, 1-4. That's right. Borderline of success for a base stealer. You get a good jump, you should be able to make it. Anything under 1-4, 1-3-5. Beginning of the game, I talked about Romine having one of his best seasons ever, but he's throwing 26% of runners, 7 for 27. That's an excellent mark. He's got a good transfer. He's got a good arm, good footwork. That's a steal off the pitcher.
And that's back to the middle. And that will get Goodwin from first to third. So Mondesi has a new career high 6-game hitting streak.
Staying in the large part of the field. Another pitch that was elevated, and they took advantage of it. Plays right in front of Goodwin. He can see it. That's an automatic no-brainer. I'm going to third. Speed is so fun to have. You can really turn a game around. Now they got 2 of their best runners out there with less than 2 outs. See if they can turn it into a run.
Sonny Gray got Merrifield to ground out to second base in the first inning, and that's what he's hoping for right here. Breaking ball is down and away. Two and 0.
Witt, he's thinking the whole field here, and why wouldn't you? Short porch here, Yankee Stadium, 314 down the right field line, and it doesn't get much deeper until you get to the gap out there. It's a good place to drive the ball. And Witt has good power that way, but hasn't shown a lot of home run power this year. He does have 5. 4 of those are off of lefties.
Two and 1. Mondesi started to go and didn't like his jump, so he hit the brakes.
So Mitch Meyer, he knows a little bit about what's going on there over there. When it comes now, they're looking for the sign from the third base. But when you're a runner and you get 2 steps off the base, you always want to peek in and see if you can see more than 1 finger from the catcher. Sometimes you can get in there and see him shaking, and the more fingers means a breaking ball. If he can pick a curveball to go on, it ups his percentage of stealing the base. See, right when you're right there, before you get a full lead, you can peek. You don't necessarily turn your head because you don't want them to know you're peeking. It's a little secret of stealing a base.
That was probably ball 3. So instead, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Witt shaking his head. He didn't want that one. Witt's pretty easy to read with his emotions.
He is the anti-Jacob Junis.
He's got some drama in his body language. That's for sure. See if he can come through here, get something, get it up, at least sack Flyer better.
3 and 2. Herrera's on deck, and Mondesi most likely will be running here.
Talked about the walks from Sonny Gray. If he doesn't get a good pitch, let Herrera do it.
Got the strikeout. So 2 down, and now runners at second and third as Mondesi gets a stolen base.
42 walks. It's a lot of walks, and you saw Herrera on deck, the rookie. He didn't want Merrifield there. Whitley was a little bit aggressive.
And that's got to be a frustrating at bat where you feel like you really got yourself out.
Yep, exactly.
That 2-1 pitch was up and in, not a strike. Herrera tapped one right in front of the plate in the first inning, and Romine threw him out. Curveball for strike one.
Big opportunity for Herrera back in his home area, New Jersey. Said it was great to be with his family and his newborn daughter. What a good time to show off right here with a couple runners in scoring position. He's hitting .409 this year with a runner out there.
0-2. Blocked. And right before that pitch was thrown, I was thinking to myself, with a hard breaking ball like that, some of those are going to get away from the catcher. And Sonny Gray with 8 wild pitches. Only Aroldis Chapman, who's a reliever, has more.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, Romine, excellent job of coming up with that.
Change the eye level. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yankees are losing some offense with Gary Sanchez on the disabled list, but they're not losing any defense with Romine behind the plate.
That's right. Solid backstop.
And the count from 0-2 to 3-2. Mike Moustakas is on deck.
Okay, this is a key pitch coming right here for Gray and Herrera. You don't want to get called out looking, because you got those runners in scoring position, but you got your best power hitter on deck in Moustakas. If you're Gray, you want to execute a pitch right here. So be ready to hit it.
And it is low. How about that comeback?
Nice take. All right, Rosell making the most of that plate appearance. That was fantastic. Outside, all right, the strike. And then he had one there he tried to pull. But then now he's going on his eye test right here. Okay, that 85 way short, up and down, 95 down, and he's spitting on it. I like that. He's being patient. He wants to hit. He wanted to there. Excellent job bringing Moose to the plate and a chance to get a lead.
Royals leading RBI man by 15 RBIs. Moustakas has driven in 62. He had a fly ball to Stanton right field in the first inning. Breaking ball catches the bottom of the strike zone.
We saw Moose hit a home run. I think it was his 20th on a pitch just like that, the low part of the zone. Almost like he knew it was coming. But he wasn't ready for it there, first pitch.
Fastball. Late movement, but it stayed in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Moose has seen a lot of inside pitches this year. You see what he's done in his career with the bases loaded. Pretty good numbers. I'll just take a base hit anywhere would be nice. You try to come in on him, but if you miss, he can hit a slam.
1-2. Sonny Gray had 2 quick innings He set down the first 6. He actually got the first out in this inning, but now the Royals have made him sweat it out on a muggy night. He's given up 2 hits, a walk, and now he's ahead of Moustakas, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He was ahead of Herrera 0-2, and Herrera got away with the walk.
A lot harder facing a pitcher like Gray that's been wild. He's been effectively wild so far early, but they've been able to milk him. Jesse Herrera. See if he can make a mistake.
Struck him out. So Gray gets through it. Royals had runners at second and third and 1 out, and then eventually the bases loaded, but no runs. We'll see. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. There's Glenn Sparkman. He had a career high 2 1/3 innings yesterday and did not allow a run. So for now, he's kicking back in the Royals bullpen. The Yankees scored 2 in the first inning off of Junis. Aaron Judge with 1 out was hit by a pitch. He scored the first run on a sac fly by Stanton, and then Gregorius scored on an error by Mondesi, and then Junis knocked down the Yankees 1-2-3 in the second. One and 2.
Aaron Judge has a big strike zone, as big as he is, but there he is. He's a definite mistake hitter. Now that 314, that's a good spot for pitchers like to be able to get him out there, but he's been getting it.
Both Duda and Junis went for the ball, so there was no cover man. And Judge runs very well for his size, and he has an infield base hit.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's just a do or die. You have to have some kind of communication to get there, and Duda was way off the base over there. And Junis didn't help as he lost his footing, as he had to redirect his path to the bag. There was a little miscommunication. Judge will take it.
And now Didi Gregorius, he doubled to right and eventually scored in the first inning. He is a pole hitter. That time he looked like he was trying to go the other way. 17 home runs And he has pulled all those home runs to right field. 12 of those here. One ball, one strike. Now 1-2.
Be awfully hard to be a left-handed hitter here with the porch at 314 and not look for something in. And he's done that. They handpicked him to be Derek Jeter's successor. And the first year, it was a little rough. He had coming in, but he settled in. He's become an adequate replacement. He's shown a lot of maturity. He's grown. Now he's a leader. And I like to say this is the house that Jeter built. This one here. The other one that was across the street was the house that Babe Ruth built. This one here, obviously one of the greatest all-time Yankees, right there, number 2.
And Junis strikes him out. Got him with a slider down. That's exactly what you talked about.
That's the one. If he can continue to get that working, it's too bad his offense couldn't get him some runs there, but he's still in this game. There it was. Good, excellent downward movement. Looks good. Hitter can't pick up the rotation. He's out.
And now Stanton with a runner at first, one out. He had a line drive to Herrera in right field for a sacrifice fly in the first inning, driving in his 61st run. One ball, one strike.
Judge over there at first base. He's 6 out of 9 in steals. If you take a little nap on him, he'll steal a bag.
Just missed outside, 2-1.
You know, I'm friends with Aaron Judge's college coach at Fresno State. His name is Mike Batesel. And last year when he got on the scene, Judge did, I called Mike up and I said, Mike, give me some insight about your guy. He says, we used to, on off days, play at flag football in our center field. We play flag and with just the guys. And Judge, when Judge had the ball, no one could get his flag. He was so fast. He was so quick. He was agile. He could move like a gazelle. Told me a little bit about his athleticism.
A big gazelle.
No doubt. Imagine him on a football field.
Stanton is on with a walk, so an infield single and now a walk. And 2 on, 1 out.
All right, hey, bring your four-legged Royals fans to the game with you on Wednesday, August 15th, with a special Bark at the Park themed ticket. Purchase your tickets at Royals.com/theme tickets in order to receive a Royals branded bandana.
And if your four-legged friend is a gazelle,
be hard to contain a gazelle.
Aaron Hicks walked in the first. Yankees have 3 free base runners from Junis in the first 3 innings. Big men on the bases. Judge is at second. Stanton is at first. Hicks is a hitter that would be easily overlooked in this lineup. When Sanchez is healthy, Judge, Stanton, Gregorius, Sanchez. But Hicks already has a career high in home runs. There's Sanchez on the disabled list with a groin injury for the 2nd time this year. Having an animated discussion in the Yankee dugout.
I'll say.
Little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. This was a script you couldn't predict. Aaron Hicks was a huge prospect in Minnesota, which you'd think would be a mostly low pressure situation, and he could not put it together. So he comes here and blossoms. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you know, and we hear about pressure a lot in professional sports, and pressure is really what you put on yourself. You can go out and produce, you can perform, or you can be tight and it can affect your performance.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
One of my first Yankee experiences was in the pennant race. I got called up. Willie Randolph had a bad hamstring in 56,000 in a pennant race in September, and I was scared to death when my name was in the lineup, batting 9th. And I remember going out for batting practice going, man, why do you feel this way? I had a little talk with myself. You worked your whole life for this moment. Man, hit it to me. Hit it over here, hit it over here. Let me show you what I can do.
Line to center, and Goodwin plays it on a bounce. Judge will move up a base, and they're loaded up with 1 out. What did yourself say back to you?
He said, you're right. Make the play. Let's go. Quit being scared. And so that was my attitude. It changed. They hit, sure enough, they hit a ball to my left. I dove, and I heard the crowd cheer for me, and it was amazing the difference when you want to show off and you want to play and show your skills. Then, oh no, big difference. That ball was out of the zone. Hicks did a nice job of stretching the zone out a little bit, and that's why, you know, hitters can be good in situations like that to widen up the zone. That didn't have to be down the middle. That was 3 inches off the plate. See if Junis can get it down here. Get that defense working and roll him a pair. He's induced 5 ground ball double plays.
Torres in the first inning hit a ground ball towards short, which looked like the end of the inning, but it came up on Mondesi for an error, and a run scored. Way outside.
Torres is grounded into 4. He's can be a lane ball candidate right here. It's what Junis got to be thinking.
There it is. 1 hop to Mondesi, out at second, and a double play. So Junis got it, and the Yankees, after loading the bases with 1 out, they come up empty.
Yes. Roll him. Now get him some runs. Just what he wanted.
This is Anthony Rizzo, and that is a walk-off home run at Wrigley Field in the 9th inning against Brad Boxberger.
Way up battle.
That was career game number 1,000 for Anthony Rizzo.
Already.
And Cubs got a game-time home run in that inning, and then the walk-off. Hicks takes charge in left center field. Salvador Perez flies to center for a second time tonight.
You know, whenever I see a guy that hits a walk-off and he comes into home plate and he takes a big jump, it reminds me of Kendrys Morales. Just really wish the guys wouldn't do that. I know it's emotional and it's exciting, but you know, you could jump up like that and come down and do exactly what he did. Busted his ankle and missed a whole year.
And he was a legit MVP candidate that year, right?
No question.
I mean, he was really starting to put it together.
And how many screws he had in his ankle? 6.
Yeah.
Remember when he joined our team? This was several years ago that accident happened. And then whenever we'd show him running, I would always say, he runs pretty good for a DH, and you would always say, yeah.
There was 6 screws in his ankle. Yeah.
That's right.
I think he's the fastest guy in Major League history with 6 screws in his ankle. Duda grounds out to first base for a second time. Well, here we go. The trade deadline, easy for me to say, is right around the corner. Brian McCann has been injured with the Astros. He has a knee injury, so they just go out and get a Gold Glove catcher from the Angels, Martin Maldonado. Joakim Soria goes to help the Brewers bullpen. And the Yankees, after getting Zach Britton a couple of days ago, they just acquired Jay Happ from the Toronto Blue Jays to add to their starting rotation.
Yeah, and all 3 of those players bettered their standing status. And if you're Martin Maldonado, you got to be giddy that you're going to the Houston Astros. Cool.
It'll give Soria a chance to perhaps establish himself on a contending team. He's been much better in his career on non-contending teams. One and 2 on Bonifacio.
Yep. Hopefully Soria has found the remedy this year.
The Royals loaded the bases in the 3rd inning against Sonny Gray and made him throw almost 30 pitches. And then Gray ended up striking out the side to get out of the 3rd. And now Bonifacio's fooled. Romine down to Bird. So Gray has struck out 4 in 4 scoreless innings.
want something to smile about, this certainly would be. Crickets, something to smile about, a double play to end that inning. That was big. The Yankees were mounting another scoring opportunity, and Junis rolled them up. 6-4-3. Keeping his team in the game.
And had another play been made back in the first inning, Junis has only given up 1 run, so one of the runs tonight is unearned. 2-0 on Greg Bird. Mondesi, and part of the growing pains of a raw talent like his, frustrate you 1 minute and dazzle you the next.
You got that right. I think we're going to see a lot more dazzling.
Bird swings on 3-0. Catching up with some of the Yankees broadcasters. We haven't seen them in a couple of months, and they're asking about some of the players they haven't seen before. And in describing Adalberto Mondesi, I said, in a 4-game series, he will do 3 or 4 things in this series where you will go, wow.
That's right.
That's the second time that Bird has hit one on the nose to Duda. One out in the bottom of the 4th.
He's a wow type player.
And now Neil Walker. Junis struck him out in the second inning. Two balls, no strikes. It's only a couple of starts, but Junis' demeanor looks like early in the season. And when he lost those 7 decisions in a row, it just seemed like things would snowball on him. Innings would get away from him. And I go back to his start on Saturday against Minnesota. Remember, he allowed a run 2 batters into the game. Minnesota scored in a flash. And then no runs over the next 3 innings. 3 balls, 1 strike.
And you know, one of the things though that I liked him, you talked about his demeanor, is that he's not a guy who's going to hang his head. He's not going to shrug his shoulders. He's not going to give you any of that, and that's good because you don't want to give the hitters any further ammunition. But you could tell he was a little frustrated with the homers.
Mondesi's going to have to hurry. A bare hand, and Duda came off the bag.
That was almost a wow.
Yep.
Junis will kick himself for not making that play himself. But if he lets it go, that's an easy out. Look at him start and stop on a ball deflected by the pitcher. That can be a real challenge. And he did it. Just couldn't quite get the throw where he wanted it. Duda did a nice job from keeping it for further damage.
Ned Yost is trying to slow this down as Bill Duplessis is getting a second and third look. And Ned says no challenge. So I think we've learned 2 signs as we're getting used to replay. The hands over the ears mean challenge. The thumbs down, no challenge.
That's right. No go.
One on Austin Romine. It's out on a fly ball to right field in the second inning. He's having a nice year, so it's not a huge loss with Sanchez going on the disabled list. And that's to the gap in left center, and that's a long way from home plate. So Walker, who just reached on the infield single, he will score. Romine has a double, and the Yankees lead 3-0.
Mo Lottery replay shows it's a hanger. That slider didn't want to finish there because that's right in the middle. When you hit a ball to Yankee Stadium in left center, it's 400 feet, and it rolls, you're going to have extra bases for sure. And Walker, not exactly fleet of foot, scored easily from first. Tenth double. Romine to go along with his 6 homers and 28 RBIs, 29 now. Career highs for him.
Gardner has grounded out to Merrifield twice. And now Junis and Salvi are going to have a little chat. StatCast powered by AWS.
104 exit velo. 2 hopper. 399 in that gap left center.
Which is the deepest left center in the major leagues. There are places to pitch in this ballpark. Gardner back to Junis. 2 outs. Junis threw 77 pitches on Saturday against Minnesota. So if you assume another 15 or so, somewhere around 90-95 pitches if all goes well. And now a pinch hitter. So this is alarming for the Yankees. Aaron Judge is out, and it's Miguel Andujar, who's had a heck of a season. But back in the first inning, Aaron Judge was hit by a pitch on his hand. 1-1 on Andujar.
You know, obviously wasn't trying to do that. Salvi was sitting up low and away. The ball just got away from Junis, and we thought it sounded like it could have hit the bat, but it did not. As valuable a player as he is, I'm surprised they even left him in.
Well, maybe it was the next swing. You know, sometimes, you know, hitter gets hit and then they go in the on deck circle and they take kind of half to 3/4 swings. But when he took a full swing and reached for that infield single, maybe that's when he realized he needed to come out.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that they could have taken him out then is because there's so many small bones in the wrist area. It's so dangerous for a hitter to get hit in his hand, and you want to take a chance.
Andujar, since the All-Star break, has played in 5 games and he has hit .524. Remember when spring training began, and talk about expectations for the Yankees this year, and boy, just wait till Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar are ready. Man, another couple good young players. Well, as it turned out, they were ready right away. Mondesi backs up for the hop and low, and Duda isn't able to pull it out of the dirt. So Mondesi got a little too casual with that throw, and he has his second error of the night.
Had a little bit more time, so he backs up on it. There's nothing wrong with that. He took the large hop. One, tap the glove to get the feet going. You got to have the rhythm, and that's a long pick, long hop, not a short hit pick. A very difficult dig. And we've seen Lucas, as good as he is, we've seen him dig several of these, but that just kind of put him off a little bit.
And Gregorius makes the Royals pay.
A Ram drive of the game is going to be Gregorius, another hanging slider. That's 2 in this inning that stayed up. Might have been a changeup, but it was located in the middle. And Didi with his 18th. Too bad.
Vin Scully used to call the pitcher's mound the loneliest place in the world. And I think right now the shortstop position at Yankee Stadium is the loneliest place in the world.
Yep.
As soon as that ball was hit, Mondesi just dropped his head.
So the thinking of a player did what Mondesi did, made the error. He
didn't even look.
Yeah, you're hoping. So before the homer, you're going, all right, come on, pick me up. Let's hope. Let's hope we get out of that. We don't want that to cost us the game. And sure enough, that's the worst feeling ever.
Stanton is out, but the Yankees get 4 runs, 3 unearned, and now they lead 6-0. Kansas City at the Kansas City Marathon on Saturday, October 20th. Distance options include a 5K, 10K, half and full marathons. All runners receive a shirt and finishers medal along with free food and free beer after the race. So start your training and get registered at kcmarathon.org. Start your training, Hud.
Well, I can train for years and not be able to do that. And after a run like that, have a beer, I don't know, it doesn't sound good to me.
Alex Gordon also led off the 3rd inning. Sonny Gray struck him out. Gray has struck out 4. He's been in trouble in just 1 inning. The Royals had runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out in the 3rd. And then eventually the bases loaded 2 down, and Gray ended up striking out the side in that inning. His other 3 innings have been 3 up, 3 down, and now a big bounce off the mound. And Gregorius, who just hit the 3-run home run, throws out Gordon.
Well, we're going to come out and take a check on him, see if that one hopper didn't hurt him somewhere. I thought it was his glove hand, must have been his bare hand. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, man. Thumb, maybe.
double dose of bad news here. Sonny Gray takes one off of his thumb, and he's squeezing the ball to see if he can put any pressure on it. And as the Yankees went out to check on his thumb, we got word here in the press box that Aaron Judge has gone to a local hospital for an MRI. Ooh. Shortly after the Yankees acquired Giancarlo Stanton in a trade with the Marlins, the question was, well, what do you do with Jacoby Ellsbury? Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. The answer to that question ended up being putting him on the disabled list with a right oblique strain, and he has not played this year.
Wow. Kind of interesting how he turned his body, and he wanted to use his glove, but it just missed his glove, and his thumb and his pitching hand was right there. Hopefully he'll be okay. Anytime a pitcher gets a ball hit back to him off of any of his throwing finger, any of his right hand, even his ring hand or his pinky, that's going to affect pressure he's able to put on the ball.
2 balls and no strikes. Goodwin grounded a single into center field in the 3rd inning. Three balls, 1 strike. I don't know Sonny Gray's demeanor because we don't see him pitch that often, but it looks like he's not comfortable. There's a good fastball right there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Goodwin drives it to center field, and that's over Hicks. So Goodwin is 2 for 2 tonight, and that's his first extra base hit as a Royal. And during that pitching sequence, and we welcome in Jeff Montgomery here, I didn't see one breaking ball. And my first thought was, if your thumb isn't right, is that going to affect your fastball more or your breaking ball?
Well, it can affect all your pitches, but particularly a breaking ball, because you want to be essentially on top of the ball. You don't want to be behind the ball like you're on a fastball as much as you want to be on top of it and be able to get on top when you break that pitch. And he's got a great curveball. You got to be going kind of over the top, like you described, had the 12-6 action, and it's hard to do that without a good grip.
And he wants to try to get a few more outs, at least qualify for a W.
Well, absolutely. You've got a 6-0 lead. You've got 1 out in the 5th inning, 2 more outs, and you're out of the inning.
Mondesi grounds to Bird. Over to Gray for the 2nd out, and Goodwin goes to 3rd. Well, they're working in the Yankee bullpen. That's Adam Warren.
Well,
I've seen a lot of guys get hit by balls on their throwing hand on the mound. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy, as soon as he got the ball, was squeezing the ball as hard as he could.
Yeah, you lose a feeling, really, from the base of your thumb or your fingers, whatever it is, all the way to the end when you get hit like that. And how you know how it is fielding a ball, hitting a ball, and even throwing a ball. You have to have good feel in your hands to execute it the way that you're used to doing it.
Yeah.
Here's Witt.
You know, there's been times where I'd catch a ground ball and I misjudged it and hit my finger. You know, now watch him here. He's He's trying to get some feel back, and you can see his thumb is all red, but it would hit my index finger, and it would pull the nail up. And I could make the throw to first base, but I couldn't imagine being so fine as to throw a strike 60 feet 6 inches away and command a ball like that. That's totally different.
Well, it's such a precision action, and there's such a fine line between being 100% on top of your game, and if you're not 100%, especially if you can't grip a baseball, it's really difficult. I'm sure that Sonny Gray, I'm sure the Yankees want to see him get through this inning. He needs to be a guy that can contribute to this team. He's their kind of weak link in their rotation. If he can go out and get a win, it does a lot for his confidence, but he still has to find a way to get another out here.
Well, I'm sure his radar went up when Jay Happ was acquired from the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he may be pitching for a spot in the rotation here.
Fouled away by Witt. Other starters, CC Sabathia's having a good year. Luis Severino, really good year. Masahiro Tanaka, solid year.
Monty, did you ever try to field a ball with your bare hand? Did you ever have any problems that you can remember off the top of your head?
Out of reaction, you just do it, and after you gain some experience and maybe a couple of bad experiences on actually getting your hand on the ball, you realize you're not going to catch a ball that's coming very hard. An easy one's a different story, but you learn that you have to let the fielders do their job. Oftentimes, whether it be with your glove or your bare hand, you kind of mess up a chance to get an out. But the instincts in you tell you, let's try to make this play. Barehanded, you're taught early, don't try it, because more bad things happen than good, even if you catch the ball.
I watched the Royals early in their games, before their games, in practice out against the right field wall. Dale Swaim hits the relievers balls that are soft balls. They're like mush balls. They're real soft, they're light, and he smashes them at them, and they're not allowed to use their hand. Their throwing hand, but they use their glove only. So they've been practicing on those comebackers.
Well, it's just something you have to react, and it has to be an automatic reaction where you're not going to put that pitching hand out there. But really, with that play with Gray, I don't know that he was trying to catch it as much. It looked like it almost went past his glove. It looked like he was trying to get it with his glove. His thumb just happened to be in the way.
Yeah, that's what that looked like.
Popped up, and that's over the Royals dugout and out of play.
But it is evident that he's relying heavily on the fastball now. He's throwing a lot more fastballs than he ever has thrown.
So yeah, he was going with the glove, but I think you're right, Monty. I think his hand, he just couldn't get his hand out of the way. Kind of like a catcher who takes a foul ball, his hand's just kind of there.
I think he felt like he was going to get it with his glove, and it just went off the top, and it put it up enough to that top spin to catch his thumb, and his thumb was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I've seen fastballs and sliders since he got hit. I'm not so sure I've seen a curveball. Witt takes off.
And there's the curveball.
Right on cue. Witt gets a stolen base. That is his 20th of the year. So that's probably a tester for him right there, right? See how it feels.
I would imagine this will be it for him.
No swing. Chad Whitson is the third base umpire. 1 and 2 on Herrera.
Rossell getting another opportunity. Came up last time with a couple of runners out there, second and third. He's got a nice RISP average so far. And Monty, I was listening to you on the Price Chopper Live Royals pregame show, and you were talking about how Gray a little bit leery of pitching to contact.
Yeah, he doesn't like pitching this ballpark.
He's not going to throw him anything good here either.
Well, he came back from 0-2 and walked his last time up.
I'd love to see him set up moves for another opportunity to leave the ship.
Ideal situation, just like last time, but Boone keeping a sharp eye out.
And this time, Gray is able to put away Herrera. So he grinds through the 5th inning after getting hit by the ground ball. He has struck out 5 in 5 scoreless innings. Slam 4-pack, which includes 4 seats and 4 Royals caps, all for just $44. So head to your local Price Chopper to purchase this exclusive deal. Aaron Hicks hits it up the left field line and off this netting. And that Price Chopper Grand Slam pack is good for most Sunday through Thursday home games. 4 tickets, 4 caps for $44. And after the Royals are done with this long road trip, they'll be home to play the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Blue Jays.
All right.
One ball, 1 strike.
On a couple mistakes from Junis tonight that were, I mean, besides the Mondesi errors, he left a couple of up, one to Gregorius and one to Romine. He's able to hit to the gap with the slider, but most of the other sliders have been pretty well commanded.
Yeah, we're going to see a fastball up here. It's going to get hit in the gap for a leadoff single. But I agree, it's really difficult to evaluate a pitcher when he's struggling through some miscues and with the defense. Oftentimes, pitcher gets a little out of his game, maybe starts to make some pitches that he wouldn't otherwise make, and just increases the odds for some mistakes. I think for Jacob Junis, always important for him to be down in the strike zone with his fastball. His slider takes care of itself, but it's not a good slider unless he can throw the fastball down the zone. The slider actually a pitch that's essentially designed to finish out of the strike zone. It has to appear to be in the strike zone, appear to be a strike, and finish out and get weak contact or swing and miss.
It's a teaser, and for hitters, you can't pick up the rotation in time. It has some good fastball spin on it, unless it's a good one, and you see a little dot on it.
But if you throw it too much without throwing the fastball, it's very. I think that's one reason why there's a higher chances of home run, which I've seen Jacob give up a lot of home runs on that slider, because hitters, when it's in the strike zone and they're looking slider, it's easier to hit.
I agree with the fastball scenario.
Two balls, two strikes. Now, before I ask you this question, I fully understand that I'm comparing Jacob unfairly to one of the best pitchers in the game, Corey Kluber, and the comparison's been made before Jacob to a younger, unrefined Corey Kluber. That'll drop into shallow left center field. Torres has his first hit, and the Yankees have runners at the corners with nobody out. Kluber has that great slider. He has a good two-seam fastball, but he also has that cutter. And I remember when Junis pitched that game against Kluber, and we looked at their pitch breakdown, and Kluber was a little more spread out than Junis was, and so that long lead up is to ask you, does he need one more weapon?
To be a Corey Kluber, he needs another weapon. And the thing that Kluber does such a good job of is pitching effectively to both sides of the plate with his fastball. And when you have the ability to throw the two-seamer down and away, for example, to a lefty, and you throw the four-seamer, or the cutter that kind of goes into the left-handed batter, you really take care of both sides of the plate. Most guys don't have the ability to be really dominant on both sides of the plate. They're good either on the glove side or the arm side, and that's why Kluber's so good. He's got electric stuff plus the ability to really command and dominate both sides of the plate.
And he's got the cutter. I guess what you're talking about. I mean, he's got the sinker, but he's got that cutter, and the slider is just a bigger cutter, right?
Right. And his has got a lot of depth to it as well. It's a pitch that really oftentimes almost disappears out of the strike zone.
And when he's feeling good, he's 95 too. He's got some little extra giddy up on his heater. He's just, he's Cy Young Award winner.
Special breed.
Exactly.
And I know that's an unfair comparison, but
there are two Royals pitchers that come to mind to me that are comparable to Corey Kluber in their ability to dominate both sides of the plate. One was Brett Saberhagen, the other was Zach Greinke. Guys could really command the fastball in and out to both sides, both left-handers and right-handers.
Cy Young Award winners, right?
Absolutely.
3-1 on Greg Bird, who is a tough luck 0 for 2 tonight. Left field, Hicks will tag. Alex tries to get behind it for some momentum, and Hicks will score. So it is 7-0 Yankees in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now Torres is at first with one out.
Now see Jacob, because he's got nice life, two-seam fastball down and away, nice location. Tough situation with the runner on third, but he gets the out. Not great contact.
Tim Hill warms up in the Royals bullpen.
That bullpen looks like the Taj Mahal compared to the old Yankee Stadium bullpen for the visitors.
I'll bet you have some stories. You could probably write a book just on all the times you've hung out in the old Yankee Stadium bullpen.
Oh, that place, I'm telling you, when they played a national anthem, every time I'm standing out there and I'm looking at the flag, and there's Babe Ruth statue, and all, I mean, just the goosebumps you get, and it was a very, very special place. But you're right, a lot of flying objects coming out of those stands.
And flying words, I'm sure, too. Ball one to Neil Walker. He is 1 for 2 with a run scored.
I would assume that those rooms are air conditioning now. And today, it's the first time I noticed the air conditioning ducts in the dugout.
That's the second hit for Walker and the third hit of the inning for the Yankees. They have 9 in the game.
And now Romine comes up. Gardner, a left-hand batter, is on deck, and Cal Eldred's checking to see where Tim Hill is in his warm-up routine. Romine hit one of those hanging sliders Hud was talking about in the Yankees' 4-run fourth inning. He drove in a run with a double.
Got to be nice to know that you're in there, going to be in there every day. You know, that's going to take a lot of pressure off. See, all right. I don't have to worry about catching once, 2 times a week.
Yankees' previous manager was Joe Girardi, who was a longtime catcher, and it always seemed to be that he and Sanchez were at odds as far as Sanchez's ability to receive the ball behind home plate. He could hit.
And a good throwing arm.
1-1.
I had a discussion with Paul O'Neill, one of my former teammates back in the Reds days, and now an analyst with the Yankees, and he was telling me that they may move Sanchez to first base. It'd be a possibility for him to go to first base, so may be good for Romine.
Gary Sanchez is out with a groin injury for the 2nd time this year. 1-2. And Junis strikes him out. Two down in the 5th inning. That is just 3 strikeouts for Junis.
And that's the perfect slider. That appears to be a strike on the outside part of the plate. It finishes off the plate. Really not a lot any hitter can do with that one.
So as predicted, with Junis at 100 pitches, and we talked about 90 to 95 pitches, and Gardner coming up. Ned Yost is going to go to Tim Hill with runners at 1st and 2nd and 2 down. Chevy called to the bullpen in the bottom of the 5th inning. He's not happy. He's out with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Charged with 7. 4 are unearned. And the big blow was the Didi Gregorius 2-out 3-run home run right after the air. So Tim Hill will come on with the left-hand hitting Brett Gardner coming up with runners at 1st and 2nd, 2 down. Speaking of 3-run home runs, Tim Hill's trying to bounce back from one of those. Gave up a 3-run home run to Victor Martinez on Tuesday, which from the Royals' point of view was a big hit that got the Tigers back in the game. But Hill was 0-2 and Martinez got it to 3-2, and it was a 10-pitch at bat before the home run. We'll give some of the credit to the hitter.
Yeah, and we saw that frustration on Jacob Junas's face there just a few seconds ago, and this is an opportunity for Tim Hill to do for Jacob Junis exactly what Jacob Junis would have liked to have done for Adalberto Mondesi. That's get him off the hook and make him feel a little better, make him sleep a little better at night, knowing that those errors lead to runs. And here's a chance right now for Tim Hill to do the same thing.
One and two on Gardner.
Yeah, Ryan, we talk about the term pick me up or pick him up. That term's used a lot in dugouts.
Two and two.
Sinker, slider, change. Hill's got some good double plays. I mean, he's got some downward action. He's really worked himself into a trustworthy role from Ned, but Ned's not afraid to use him in certain situations.
Well, he's been through some ups and downs now. It's a chance for him to maybe even things out, get back on track, and there's a real nice job.
Thanks for dropping by, Monty.
You bet, anytime.
Yankees get one, take a 7-0 lead. Kansas City is brought to you by Ram. Come in now to the Ram summer clearance event and get a great deal today. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. 7-0 Yankees. Sonny Gray was able to get through the 5th inning. It wasn't easy after getting hit by an Alex Gordon ground ball. So he qualifies for the win, and now a Chevy call to the bullpen. Right-hander Adam Warren with Moustakas, Perez, and Duda coming up.
23rd game. He's got a nice ERA, 2.39. He's been very reliable this year. 34 strikeouts and 26 in the 3rd. Fastball, slider, curve change. Good stuff.
Mike Moustakas drives it the other way, and Gardner won't get there, and it bounces into the seats for a double. Mike Moustakas is 1 for 3 tonight.
First pitch, fastball. He knew it was coming. Warren, he could power up to the mid-90s, maybe a little bit higher than that. Gardner, a solid outfielder. He got a great jump. No chance.
He's got a Gold Glove, doesn't he?
I believe he does.
(2016).
Yep.
Brett Gardner won a Gold Glove. Salvador Perez has flied to center twice. One and one on Salvi. Tonight's Sonic Slam-Inning contestant is Kevin Bentley from Kansas City, Missouri. And if the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Kevin wins $600. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Kevin wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. And there's a drive to deep center field. Hicks is back. It is gone. Salvador Perez has another home run since the All-Star break. 3 home runs, 8 driven in. That is his 16th of the year. And congratulations to Kevin Bentley. That home run was worth $600 in our Sonic Slam-Inning.
Salvi's had 2 fly balls in center field tonight before this at bat, and this one he connected. 86, little slider on the outside part of the plate. Got great extension. Salvador Perez is locked in. His last few games, he's been hitting the ball hard. I mean, on everything. Not all falling for base hits. You're lucky when that happens. He certainly has been barreling some balls. Way to go, Kevin. Got you a little bit of cake there.
Well, Salvi flied to center twice and then homered to center.
Yeah.
Lucas Duda has grounded to first twice. So what's he going to do right here?
Pilot to Bombardier. Give him one. Give him a cookie. He's swinging a good bat as well. But you can tell by the sound, though, when Salvi, that ball left his bat. Solid connection.
One on Duda.
Clean.
That's the sound you want recorded when you make a baseball movie.
Yeah.
Or if you were recreating games on the radio from years and years ago. That's the sound bite that you would play when you wanted the ultimate sound of bat on ball.
I agree. Instead of the sound that I heard so often. 3-1 count here. This is a good opportunity for Lucas. Didn't want it.
Wouldn't give him a fastball.
Statcast will show you. Hit over 100. 420. That's deep. You got to get it all to get it out of that part of the ballpark. Didn't break a whole lot, but look at how he just reached out. He's totally extended his arms. And when a hitter gets them extended like that, you're going good.
Warren comes back from 3-1 to get a strikeout. And that's the first out of the inning. The Yankees have not used Zach Britton yet. He is available after the trade with the Orioles. These are their bullpen numbers before the trade, and those are major league ranks. Now Hicks comes up. Bonifacio is 0 for 3. So they're already leading the major leagues in several categories before picking up Zach Britton. Lowest ERA, lowest opponent's batting average, most strikeouts, second best save percentage only to the Red Sox. And now they're better.
Yep.
At least on paper. Here's Alex with 2 down, nobody on. Breaking ball's in for a strike. Alex is struck out and grounded out, and the ground out was the ball that hit Sonny Gray on his right thumb in the 5th inning. So he's probably having that looked at. And Aaron Judge, who was hit on the wrist by Jacob Junis in the 1st inning, has gone to a local hospital for an MRI. Alex pulled off of that pitch, 1-2.
You know, it's amazing how in times past, before the technology got so good, that hitters got hit in the wrist. There was injuries, but they didn't have any way of going and seeing exactly how bad the injury was. Well, how do you feel the next day? So technology's changed all of sports.
The Royals get 2 on Salvador Perez, 16th home run of the season.
Parents and grandparents, it's not too late to purchase the perfect gift for your young Royals fans. Purchase the 2018 Sluggers Blue Crew box for just $30. Membership includes a jersey, flat bill cap, drawstring bag, 2 compression sleeves, 2 home game ticket vouchers, and much more. Sign up now at royals.com/brewcrew.
There's some friends.
Yeah, see that?
All familiar on the far right, Bill Merrifield,
Okay.
Which dad. In the middle in the gray shirt is our former television producer, Joe Lavero. Royals fans might remember us mentioning his name. They live in New York City now, and next to him,
As the star.
that's the star. Remember the name Hudson Lavero. That's Joe's and Jody, their 11-year-old son. This is Andujar with a pop-up, and Witt makes the play with dad watching. They lived in Leawood when Joe was producing Royals games, and Hudson played baseball. He also liked to dance, and he could sing. He is now a Broadway sensation. Spent a couple of years on Bronx Tale. That was written and directed by Robert De Niro.
Right.
And now next week, and you and Jennifer are going to go to it, he is one of the leads in School of Rock on Broadway.
Yeah. He's going to make his first show on the 30th. He's a young prodigy. He's a star. He's a Broadway star.
He's not just on Broadway, he is a marquee name on Broadway.
Really proud of that.
Hudson Lavero.
So you have a talent like him. You dance, you sing when you're young. Keep it up. You never know what can happen.
Well, Here's Jason Adam. Tim Hill came on in relief of Jacob Junis and struck out Brett Gardner to end the 5th inning, and now Adam has retired Miguel Andujar. And one last thing about Hudson Livero.
Okay.
There aren't many 8, 9-year-old boys that like to dance and play sports, but there was some pushback from some of his peers, and you're talking about little boys,
right,
who were discouraging him from doing something like that, you know, but he stuck with it. And who's laughing now, Hud?
He's got a great career going now and a bright future.
Yep. Two up, two down against Jason Adam. And time for our sprint trivia question. Name the top 4 home run hitters on the 97 Mariners that hit a major league record 264 home runs, and the Yankees are just a hair under that pace. The top 4 home run hitters in 97. Well, the first 2 we've got easy, right? Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
Jay Buhner.
Yep.
Okay. 1-1 on Giancarlo Stanton. The third one may be their television broadcaster right now.
I think Blowers did.
Let's we'll put him down for now.
Okay.
1-2 on Stanton. He's hit a sac fly, he has walked, and he has grounded out to second base. Wasn't Paul Sorrento on that team?
Sounds right.
I think Tino Martinez was already here by 97. He was already a Yankee.
Yep. He was on the team when we had the one-game playoff in 95. And then 96, 97. We played against them in their own division in 96, where you'd think
He might still have been in.
It's possible. How about Edgar? No.
You know what? I've doubted you before. You had
Why wouldn't
Seager
you?
yesterday.
It's okay. Just put him down. We'll
All right.
flip a coin later. Stanton, it's amazing to watching him. He has very little load with his hips. He's not flamingo leg kicking and loading up the hips. He's all hands. I mean, pretty much hands. He's got a good wide base. That's enough for him. He's strong, but he just throws the head of that bat.
Well, that's an inning that Jason Adam won't soon forget. 3 up, 3 down in his Yankee Stadium debut with a strikeout of Giancarlo Stanton. 2 home ERA into tonight's game. Here's the Pizza Ranch for the win pitching line. He went 5 innings, came out early because of this play here, a bruised thumb, but he allowed just 3 hits and he struck out 5, and he's gotten a lot of run support tonight. He departed with a 7-0 lead, and now it's 7-2 after the Royals scored a pair of runs off of Adam Warren. And here's David Robertson for the 7th inning.
Robertson, another trustworthy reliever. ERA just a tad over 2. Good hard fastball. He's got an excellent curve. Opponent's hitting just 181. Just a tad over 3. 45th game, he's used a lot. They like him. Why wouldn't you? Got a lot of experience.
Brian Goodwin has 2 more hits. So since joining the Royals, he is 5 out of 7. He is single to center and double to center tonight.
I asked him before the game, who was your favorite player when you were growing up? Grew up in North Carolina. Ken Griffey Jr. without a hesitation. And he says, and I said, well, do you like his defense or his offense? And he said, well, I liked them both because he was a Gold Glover, and of course now he's a Hall of Famer. But can't you tell by the way I move the bat? Remember, see that? See how he's moving the bat? He says that's I did that growing up to emulate my hero. And so he's got a little wiggle there. He's got that junior. Junior used to have a little bit bigger wiggle than that, but he said that's the best I can do. Got a little movement going back. That's good. You want to have movement before the pitch. Ooh, nasty pitch there. Wow.
I don't know if Robertson still calls it this, but earlier in his career, that hard breaking ball, he called it a snapdragon curveball, which was a first for me. That's the first snapdragon curveball.
Yep. Heard snappy.
Here's Mondesi. He is 1 for 2 with a stolen base at the plate, but in the field he has a couple of errors tonight, which has resulted in 4 unearned runs. So that's a difference right now between 7-2 and 3-2.
Yep, you're right. Catching the ball is important. Throwing it, and Lucas Duda, he'll probably take that on himself, saying I should have picked that, but that ball that bounced 5 feet in front of him with a lot on it, and that's a tough dig.
Mondesi is taking all the way, 3-1. If the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. Now Robertson comes back from 3-0 to get a strikeout. 2 outs in the 7th.
Robertson, it's just 5'11", 190. It's not a real big guy, but his mechanics are flawless. Very smooth.
He was able to come back to the Yankees. He came up through the Yankees organization. Pitched in the postseason with the Yankees in 2009 when they won the World Series, 2010, 2011, 2012. And then went to the White Sox for parts of 3 years, and then the Yankees got him back last season.
Yep. He's a 10-year big leaguer. Congratulations.
Brandon Maurer loosening up in the Royals bullpen.
It's a good time to let him out there.
If there is a biggest out for the Yankees tonight on defense, it was probably Sonny Gray's strikeout of Merrifield back in the 3rd inning. And now Witt drops one into right field. He's on with 2 down. Royals at that point were down 2-0. They put runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out against Sonny Gray, and Gray was ahead in the count, came back and struck out Witt, then a walk to load the bases, and then struck out Moustakas. Rosell Herrera is 0 for 2 with that walk back in the 3rd, and that was after he fell behind 0-2. Strike with a fastball.
10 years plus, have throw still mid-90s is taking care of yourself.
No balls, 2 strikes. Robertson came to the Yankees out of the University of Alabama 12 years ago, a 17th round pick. Witt runs, and the pitch is down and in, and that's Witt's 2nd stolen base tonight, and 21 on the year.
That's a perfect pitch to run on. That breaker down and in. Romine had no chance. Watch, Rosie's standing right there. There's no chance for him to get a throw off. And Whitley, he would have ripped it off anyway.
Robertson strikes out the side. And Yankee pitchers have struck out 10 tonight. Sabathia against the youngster Brad Keller. He'll be making his Yankee Stadium debut on his 23rd birthday. Same time tomorrow, on the air with Price Chopper Royals Live, 5:30. First pitch a little bit after 6 o'clock Kansas City time, and then day games Saturday and Sunday. Heath Fillmyer and Bert Smith were both very good in their last starts. They'll be going up against Luis Severino and Masahiro Tanaka. Here's the matchup for tomorrow's game. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price For $82.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer.
Bauer's coming in, you know, and this is the perfect time to get him in. Get him in when the Royals are behind a little bit so he can work on his confidence, work on his pitch selection. Hasn't had the best of numbers this year and continues to work. That's all you can do. And it's a good opportunity. He's got a good, hard, we know, mid-90s to upper 90s fastball, overhand curve, and a changeup. And he's been getting beat. And the thing that you tell yourself when that happens, and all of us have been on that side, you're getting beat by a big leaguer who's making a lot of money. Believe it. You're not getting beaten by some high school kid. So keep your head up and go after him. That's what he's going to do.
Last time out was a blown save on Monday, allowing 3 runs in the 9th inning to the Tigers. So as you said, much different situation tonight with the Royals down by 5.
Ned knows what he's doing. Help him out. Want to get him back out there. Just don't want to put him in a precious situation right away here. See if he can work a few things out. Good pitch. Changeup.
Fastball at 96. Couple of observations. And this is just from watching other starters turn into relievers. Now, Mauer's been a reliever for a while, but he was also a starter. Number one, he pitches out of the windup, which is not very rare, but it's rare. I mean, most relievers at some point go to pitching out of the stretch exclusively. They can warm up a lot faster because you don't have to, you know, warm up in the windup and in the stretch, and you have to make your biggest pitches pitching out of the stretch. So a lot of guys will go to the stretch exclusively, and Monty has shared with us on several occasions that he learned you don't really lose any velocity or stuff. Right center field. Goodwin makes the play, and there's one down. So that's observation number 1. Observation number 2, most former starters have become relievers whittle themselves down to their 2 best pitches, and I think for Mauer that would be fastball, slider. He still throws his changeup occasionally, and you might say, well, what about Kelvin Herrera? Well, he had a really good changeup.
He was fastball, changeup, and then later developed a slider.
A slider late, and so I wonder if that's been discussed. Go to the stretch, simplify your mechanics, and just worry about 2 pitches instead of 3.
Yeah, and that is free and easy right there. That wind up and delivery, and that's 97 with some movement. You just don't see talent like that that has that kind of stuff.
And you know, I brought this up with Ned Yost, and you always sit in on the daily radio interview with Ned, and Nick Mauer, I'm not saying he's got to knock guys off the plate, but he needs to find a way to make hitters more uncomfortable in the batter's box.
Well, I'll see it. That's a good way to do it.
Because you're talking 97, 98, 99, but opponents are hitting .458 on his fastball, which tells me they're comfortable in the batter's box.
Yeah, and he throws a lot of strikes, and then that word gets around. But I guarantee you, you let a couple of them go, you know, and knock a few guys down, that also gets around. And then now they're not as easy in there, sitting in there. But when you're comfortable and facing a guy with that kind of velocity, that's trouble for the pitcher. They're going to hit you. They're swinging. So you're right. Look at that.
99.
Sorry about that. I mean, he's got the right attitude. Nobody wants to get humble pie. Nobody wants to eat it. But we all do at some particular point. So he's got the right attitude. He's going about it the right way, but he'll continue to make some tweaks and get back to the guy that they believe he can be.
Zach Britton is getting ready to make his Yankee debut. Greg Bird takes ball one. Royals dugout was reacting and wondering why that wasn't called a strike, and Salvador Perez looked to the dugout and said, nope, that was the right call. It was down. 2-0. That's one way to stay on the home plate umpire's good side. Bird is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Three and two. Yankees scored 2 in the first inning. 1 run was unearned. They scored 4 in the fourth. 3 runs were unearned, and 1 in the fifth. And now Bird is on with a 2-out walk.
Help us celebrate the Royals' first World Series title with the 1985 World Series Championship replica trophy giveaway presented by Old Dominion. The first 15,000 fans through the gates on Saturday, August 11th will receive the replica trophy before watching the Royals host the Cardinals at 6:15. Visit Royals.com to purchase your tickets. Replica trophy, why not? The first of 2.
Neil Walker with 2 down. Walker has a pair of singles and a run scored. All of a sudden, the 46,000 plus here today have broken out some lights.
Wow, how about it?
I think they're cell phone. Those are the cell phone lights. And looking at some of the members of our crew here, they're all shaking their heads like that's not a regular 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning ritual.
Kind of cool. Folks passing the time here.
Three and one. Good one out in center field, makes a play. Mauer has a scoreless bottom of the 7th. Zach Britton is getting ready to make his Yankee debut. New York leads by 5 to the 8th inning.
And they're at a big league game, and we're happy for it. Thanks for coming.
Zach Britton makes his Yankees debut, and we were just talking about Brandon Maurer coming in a low pressure situation. This might be the best way to break in with a new club, even if you're as accomplished as Zach Britton is.
Absolutely. There's a lot hinges on the roles that you're given when you come into a certain game. Maurer has had his struggles. It was a good time for him to get in, go 1, 2, 3, and now here's Zach. It's perfect time. Heavy mid-90s sink fastball. Big slider.
He'll get a couple of left-hand batters in the 8th inning. Moustakas, and then after Salvador Perez, Lucas Duda. One ball, one strike.
That heavy sinker is getting compared to Mariano Rivera's cutter. Even though he's just 8 years in, but reading up on him, there's a few out there, a few scouts out there that are giving him credit. Man, nice play. Look at Moose. Continues to hit the ball to the opposite field, but no luck at all. Seems to hit it to the only fielder on the left side of the infield.
Here's Salvador Perez, and just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Hold True moment.
Wow, great follow through. Look at the 2 hands. That is a perfect swing right there. 2 hands, stayed on the bat the whole way, controlled the body, everything looked good, and nothing better when you barrel a ball like that. If you're a hitter, it feels so good.
Salvi is 1 out of 3 altogether tonight.
Plenty of velocity on that Zach Britton fastball. Wonder how his adrenaline is right now.
He went around 0-2. Zach Britton a couple of years ago had a major league record 42 consecutive appearances without allowing an earned run. 42 in a row, and he finished 2016 47 out of 47 in save opportunities, and that carried into last year. It ended up being an American League record 60 consecutive saves, and that ended against the A's last year in August. And best ERA by relievers with at least 250 career innings. Zach Britton is second to Wilbur Cooper. Hud, your thoughts?
Well, Wilbur had a pretty good fastball.
Wade Davis was also on that list.
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera.
Certain Hall of Famer.
Yep. All-time saves leader. And then Britton this past off season tore his Achilles and had to have surgery. So he's only appeared in this, his 17th game of the year. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a heavy sinker. You can see it. It's going away to the righties, and it's going to go into the lefties. And you already talked about how dominant their bullpen is, and to add an arm like this, it's not fair.
And then that thing had some cutting action to it. 2 down.
Yankees mean business this year, and they need to, because the team ahead of them, the Boston Red Sox, just lava hot as a team.
They're trailing, by the way, at home to Minnesota in the bottom of the 8th inning. Red Sox are 2-1.
Minnesota gets swept in our house. They go up to Toronto and sweep.
And now leading in Boston.
Right. Hard to figure.
Zach Britton's first inning as a Yankee is 1, 2, 3. Brian Flynn is coming in for the Royals. by Ford. Going further, so you can. Seven-2 Yankees to the bottom of the 8th. Ryan Flynn comes on. Jacob Junis was charged with all 7 runs in 4 2/3. However, 4 were unearned. Tim Hill went a third of an inning. Jason Adam 1 inning. Brandon Maurer 1 inning, and now Flynn.
Yep, Flynn's working on his numbers. They're looking good. 28th game, opponents under 300. Strikeouts, he's not a strikeout pitcher. Although 29 works, he's a ground ball specialist. Heavy, hard sinker. He's been doing a great job for Ned Yost. Sinker, slider, change, curve. 6'7", downhill angle, working well for him. Low 90s maybe, a little bit close to 94, 5. That was 94 there.
Two 2-0 on Austin Romine, who's driven in a run tonight and scored a run. Flynn pitched 3 scoreless innings on Saturday against Minnesota, getting the win.
Yep.
Allowing just 1 hit and 1 walk, and struck out 4. Witt to the middle. 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. All right. Our sprint trivia question. The Yankees are just below the pace of the major league record for home runs, 264 by the 1997 Mariners. Who are the top 4 home run hitters on that team? We have identified Ken Griffey Jr. and Jay Buhner.
Okay, then
we do not have a strike.
And I believe they had the third baseman who played mostly there was Russ Davis, and he had some pop. Now Blowers played a little bit there, but I remember Davis. Paul Sorrento had some pop. You know, and Edgar,
Tino Martinez was not with the Mariners during that time.
Edgar was a DH then, full time, and I don't know if he had that kind of pop, but he certainly had 20 home run pop. I mean, but I don't know if that's one. What do we need? 2 more?
2 more.
I think
you like Paul Sorrento?
Yeah, let's try.
Paul Sorrento. Correct. 1 more to go, Hud.
I think we've mentioned his name. Let's go with Russ Davis.
Russ Davis. Strike 1. That's a good call, though.
He had some good pop.
So they would have had what? Dan Wilson, Paul Sorrento. Who was their second baseman in '97?
Cora.
Okay, no. Was Omar? Omar was he was in Cleveland at that point. And then Mike Blowers, Russ Davis, Edgar Martinez, kind of DH third baseman.
Where was A-Rod?
He was a Mariner. Wasn't he? Yeah, he was famously on that dog pile in '95 when Edgar Martinez drove in Ken Griffey Jr.
I'm sure they still had him.
Alex Rodriguez, strike 2.
Ooh, sorry about that. I led you into that.
And then they had Griffey Buhner. Who else did they have in the outfield? Gardner, who was 0 for 4, is on with 1 out.
I told you, Raul Ibanez. That was just a name I told you. I just threw that out there.
Yeah. Royals got Raul Ibanez in 01.
Do we have
as a 6-year minor league free agent?
Okay, is Griffey there? Is he on there? We already have
Griffey, Buhner, and Sorrento. We have 2 strikes. Blowers.
But see, Ibanez had a couple of big years that got him a contract after that. He went away. So he had a couple of big years.
I don't think so, Hud.
Okay.
His biggest years were with the Royals, and then he kind of took off. Although if you feel convicted about it,
no,
I've stood in your way before and was wrong. Andujar goes the other way. And that is his first hit. And the Yankees have 2 on with 1 out.
I thought Russ Davis was going to be on there.
You seem to be pretty convicted about Raul.
Well,
you brought up Kyle Seager yesterday, and I shot you down, and that was the right answer.
it was before Richie Sexton got there. Before Beltre.
Yeah, they didn't come along until Safeco Field.
Right.
Witt to Mondesi to Duda, and another double play for Brian Flynn, the double play machine.
Beautiful.
And even he smiles about that.
Perez stays hot at the plate, but tough night for Jacob Junis. Also a lot of unearned runs. We'll talk about that and get you ready for tomorrow. The birthday boy, Brad Keller, will turn 23, facing 38-year-old CC Sabathia.
Thank you, Joel. Chasen Shreve will get the top of the 9th inning. He is the 5th Yankees pitcher tonight. And he'll get Bonifacio, Gordon, and Goodwin.
Shreve is another left-hander that they've got out of that bullpen. 88 to 90. Not an overpowering pitcher. Fastball, slider. He's got a split finger changeup combo.
Fastball strike to Bonifacio, who is the designated hitter. 0 for 3. He is one of 16 designated hitters used by Ned Yost, who told us before the season started he would have a rotating DH. That's the most in the major leagues. 16 DHs on one team. It's also a Royals record by 2. And so Ned was saying there's some good and some bad. The good is you give a guy half the day off, and you can still allow him to get some at bats. The bad has been that he's had to use a lot of young hitters as the DH, and that's more of a role for a veteran guy.
No doubt. And you know what, Bonifacio, this afternoon when I saw him in the dugout, you in there today? Yep. You're playing in the outfield? Nope. And I went, oh, you're DHing. And he kind of gave me a look like, yeah, happy to be in there, but tough job.
3 balls, 1 strike.
I said, what are you going to do in between at bats? We've timed it sometimes 30, sometimes 45 minutes in between at bats. He says, I'll watch the game for a while and then I'll go up and run. And I'll ride the bike and I'll take some swings in the cage. It's really difficult though. I mean, you have no idea until you actually have to do it. There's no game timing at all. But fortunately, all the ballparks have cages underneath. Back in the day, there was no cages underneath.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
There's still a few where it's not accessible from the dugout. Still 3-2. Well, we didn't come up with an answer.
Nope.
So
But
Edgar Martinez.
you rejected me again on Edgar.
No, what are you talking about? I did not.
I brought Edgar up. You go, no, I don't think
No,
so.
I didn't.
You didn't reject Edgar?
No, I didn't reject Edgar. I rejected Ibanez.
Let's see what Ibanez did.
Off of Shreve's glove, and that will roll in between the mound and second base, and Bonifacio ends up with a base hit. It's the second time that a Yankee pitcher has been hit by a line drive. Shreve is saying I'm fine. He said it hit him on the glove.
There's Steve Donahue, head athletic trainer. He's back from the hospital. Let's see. Ooh, man, that's really close to tell. Good for Boney. Got him a base hit.
You were leaning Raul.
Yeah, it's a good
I
thing.
was leaning Mike Blowers.
Okay, it's a good thing we didn't go with Ibanez. Guess how many home runs he had?
How many?
1.
Yeah.
Okay, you
I
were
was
right
trying
on
to
that.
talk you off the
Flowers had 5.
5. Okay, so we both whiffed on Edgar Martinez.
Darn it. All right, sorry.
So a win for the Truck. It has been a good night and a bad night for the Yankees. They lead 7-2, but Aaron Judge had to leave the game and go to the hospital for an MRI on his wrist. He was hit by Jacob Junis in the first inning. Sonny Gray took a ground ball off of his right thumb that was hit by Alex Gordon in the 5th inning. He got through the inning, but clearly was bothered by it and had not thrown many pitches. He would have come back out for the 6th inning, and then even though Chasen Shreve said he was fine, Alex went around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Broken bat and a sliding on his knees is Walker, and they get the force out at second base.
Hey, Royals fans, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports app or Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. It's Fox Sports Go.
Brian Goodwin has a single, a double, and he's 2 out of 3. 5 out of 8 since becoming a Royal.
Okay, check him out now. This is 1 hit, bouncer up the middle, routine. Watch him use his hands. Again, I like his hand protection. I mean, really, really good. Going to it, that ball was driven a long way. And you know, you don't need a whole lot of body. Lots of times, you just, you know, your legs provide the power, obviously, but it's the hands that come through the zone and hit the ball where it's pitched. It's what he does.
One ball, 2 strikes. You know, watching his replay of his swing, that handsy kind of swing reminds me a little bit of Carl Crawford.
I can see that.
Down on strikes. 2 down in the 9th inning. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Mondesi with Gordon at first base, 2 down. 1 out of 3 tonight with a stolen base and 2 errors at shortstop, which have led to 4 unearned runs. Not necessarily directly responsible for 4 unearned runs, but both errors came with 2 outs and extended the innings. Crowd has thinned out quite a bit. It's still 46,965 was the announced paid attendance. And Gregorius dives and doesn't get it. And now Alex slips in the baseline and has to scurry back to second base. Mondesi has a 2-hit game.
Mondesi had to reach for it, but ball had some top spin on it. That always helps it scoot through the infield a little quicker. Alex, he said, oh no, I got to get back.
Witt has been on base twice tonight with a walk and a single, and he has 2 stolen bases. One ball, 1 strike. Been a tough year overall for the Royals, and in particular against this division, the East. What do they used to say? The beasts of the East.
Yep.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, that's been true for Ned Yost and the Royals this season. 3-15 against the East. With a big ERA, the Royals have allowed 7 tonight. 4 have been unearned. Another base runner, and the tying run will be on deck, creating a save situation. And Aaron Boone didn't want to do it, but he has Aroldis Chapman ready to go in the bullpen. And a line drive base hit to center field. Alex will be held, and now he's going to run, and the game ends on a play at the plate.
Well, sometimes when you run the stop sign, you get away with it. Other times, you don't.
And Hicks can really throw.
Oh, that's perfect.
So make it 3-16 against the East this year. The Yankees take game 1 tonight, 7-2. We'll be back.